as the Aquarian, pondering upon the heavens. Uranus is the modern day ruler of Aquarius. Uranos means the heavens. Urania is the goddess of the heavens and of astronomy, sacred astrologia. Logos, the word. So logos and the astrology means the word of the heavens, of the stars. The stars talking to each other, and the planets and sun and the moon, they move having certain characteristics: close, far, bright, dark, fast, slow. And then so things in this world that have similar qualities relate to the celestial bodies. The idea is that we were light through air, come through the planetary spheres and pick up, are cloaked with a certain color and attributes. From Saturn, he gives us the spine, the architect who gives you the framework. And then you go to Jupiter, which is about experience and creation. Jupiter, the creator, the third person of the Trinity. Son of Kronos, Saturn, and Rhea. Saturn, Father Time. Rhea, area, space. Time and space, the two parents, come together to give you the third person of the Holy Trinity, Eupator. Jupiter, Zeus, Deus. And then after, when we come in, we get the experience. When we go out and we hit Jupiter, we get the wisdom. That's why it's the guru and the wise philosopher, king, teacher. So that's what it's light that comes in, it's going down on the tree of life, and then rising up through the planetary spheres. After Jupiter, you go to Mars. Mars gives you that energy, willpower. Our will is a very theologically, philosophically deep thing, and it's taken up in occult practices and in Dilemma, Aleister Crowley's BS. He does focus on will, and that's interesting, because there is an idea that you go up to the tree of life, you get to the Godhead, which is 10, but instead you go from 9 to 11, the 9/11 ritual, skip the 10, and then break down the ladder below you, the 7 heavenly luminaries, the 7 chakras, World Trade Tower 7, in between the towers of Joachim and Boaz on the Masonic drawing board. I know I talk about this a lot because the dark occult ritual of 9/11 makes it obvious that it wasn't some freaking Arabic terrorist in a cave. Okay, waking up is Uranus. Uranus gets you out of Saturn, the visible heavenly luminaries. It's the realm of the gods. So right now, this planet Uranus together with Mars on the nodes, which eclipses, which is very fated stuff. This could be fated awakenings, learning something brand new that shatters your paradigm to help us to get off of the south node in Scorpio. So that's stuff that we want to get rid of right now. I'm a Scorpio, I have the south node there. It's cathartic, it's regenerative. The snake is a sign of rebirth. Now, opposite of Scorpio, which is fixed water in the air quadrant of our year, you could be fixated on a feeling and it impeding us from getting our mind right and free. So now, opposite of where our south node, which is called the tail of the dragon, is in Scorpio, is called Rahu and Ketu in Vedic. This is gonna get deep. So here's something, and so what we want to do is, the head of the dragon is always trying to feed, but can never reach it. The tail of the dragon is what it's already experienced, which it's moving away from, and we're in between that, in Maya. The mother of Buddha's Siddhartha Gautama, his mother's name was Maya Veda, queen of this illusion, Maya. But it also means it's feminine. It also, Mary, the mother of Christ, gets mediatrix, the matrix that we're in. According to these traditions, which it seems to be true. I mean, science is telling us that we're like in a hologram, pretty much. Ooh, look at the sun coming down. Note to self, I have to talk about the sun too, because we're in Leo season. So here's the sun in Leo part. And North Node's in Taurus, before I forget, South Node in Scorpio. But the sun is at its strength in Leo. And you can even look into the news where they have, the sun is the most active that it's been since recorded history, as reported by NASA or something, which you don't know what to fucking believe. But I had a friend tell me, he's like, dude, the sun used to be yellow and now it's white. I don't know if he was on mushrooms, but you know what? Who knows? I've seen videos where the sun is like 2 suns in the sky. But we could look, you want to look at the rising sun in the morning, and you can't try to squint, and you want the rays from the eye of Ra to your eye, the eye of Ra. It enlightens you. The sun gives us awareness, order to chaos, to the dark, life, light. As without, so within. And we want to bring the heavens and earth together into one harmoniously. But if we're lacking light, we're in the dark and ignorant and not full of light. So we want to link up, become one with the sun. I recommend trying. I bet you if you go to sleep near when the sun sets and then wake up when the sun rises, you're probably tuning yourself in, synchronizing, coming together with Chronos, time. So that's bringing Earth and space together, space and time for creation, the best creation, the perfection of creation is what we're trying to do here. And being all right with our imperfections. But the sun has these photons. You do just, when the sun's too high, you don't want to stare at it too long, I guess. But you want to try to build up tolerance to that. Wearing sunglasses all the time isn't good, nor sunblock. That's a whole nother thing. Sunblock, we'll talk about it. They say that it's the foods that we eat that hurt us with sun cancer, melanomas. And that before the diet came to be what it is, sun cancer wasn't a thing. And they did a test on rats or something where they fed them an American diet and then fed them a healthy diet. And sadly, the ones who didn't the ones who had a bad American diet, like 50% of them got skin cancer, while the ones that were healthy didn't. Okay, now that we just solved that, the sun, When it's high, then close your eyes, and then you can feel it and pay attention to the colors, and then that's energy. You want to try to bring it in, receiving the Ka. We are the Ba, the bark, the soul of Ra, the sun. We want to bring the sun into us and visualize it with your intentions, and imagine that the lights are coming into every atom, every particle of your physical body, your ethereal light body, and let it be reanimated, revitalized, revigorated, enlightened, made light. May our hearts receive this warmth, this encouragement, this inspiration as we enter into the spirit, and that our actions might be from this place. We are protected with this beautiful green and gold orb that constantly gives us nutrition, nurtures us, strengthens us so we can go forth courageously in spirit, inspiring others. Let us be light of heart and like a child. And that's my meditation on the sun. Sing, think of the sun goddess, think of the sun god. Think of the moon goddess, think of the moon god. The moon at night you want to stare at. They put the Eucharist in what's called a monstrance. And it's the Son of God in a circle, wheat because the sun makes the wheat come. And then you put it in a silver lunette, which is a crescent silver that looks like a moon. And our monstrance is our moon's trance. They put it into the monstrance and you stare at it and meditate on the exposition of the Blessed Sacrament, the Eucharist. This is a new moon ritual because at every new moon we have the sun and the moon come together in the sky, and so we don't see them, we go into the dark, and that's where the seed is planted. That's the marriage of the bridegroom, is at the new moon. And then at the full moon, that's when they're on the opposite side of the sky, and it's a full expression of the feminine. So emotions, which are related to the feminine, are high on a full moon. Now, Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha means to accomplish, to accomplish goals or dreams. And was born in Taurus season on a full moon, or was impregnated by a white elephant on a full moon. His birth, or it could be his birth. Legend has it that he was born as a Taurus sun. That's fixed earth. So when you want to accomplish something, get something done, Siddhartha, you put it into earth, into this Taurus season, a bull, the middle of spring, which is the strongest life force. Now, opposite of Taurus on the full moon would be the moon in Scorpio. Good rising, brother Liam. Still making our way. One together. All right. I like it. We come together on this axis of our eclipses. And which is the relationship between the moon and the sun. So when there's Siddhartha, means to accomplish, the bull of Taurus, and then the full moon in Scorpio, which it doesn't want to be. That's Siddhartha named his son Rahu, which means the tail of the dragon, which is the past. And it being stuck in Scorpio, and saying his name of his son was impediment, Rahu. And the south node is an impediment for us to advance to our karmic north node, following our dharma. So the lesson of him calling his son, actually, and when he had his son, he renunciated and like left. It's a total mythological story. There was never a Gautama Buddha, like there was never a historical Jesus. It was, the whole story of Buddha is astrological in nature, and you can tell it by looking into what the names mean. So Buddha means enlightened, and Siddhartha means a fulfillment of the senses in Taurus, which is the most beautiful time of the year. Which people born in Taurus are most often models, and Libra, the two rulers of Venus. And so the whole lesson in the etymology of the names of Buddha and then his son is reflections of what is happening in our skies right now. With the north node in Taurus and the south node in Scorpio, it is going up into the fulfillment of our desires. Siddhartha went to be a renunciate in the story and starved himself to death almost to achieve mystical enlightenment, and then was offered a bowl of rice and ate it. And when he ate the rice, he had enlightenment. Taurus is the rice. It's the bowl of rice. It's in charge of food. And they said that it happened on a Scorpio moon when he reached enlightenment, which is being able to experience things without this deep, unhealthy emotional attachment to it, which is similar to like having an idol, which is stupid. I hate how they go idol worshipers, blah blah blah. But we can see it with people. We put people up on put everybody up on a pedestal, equal with you. And when somebody lets us down, or we let ourselves down, we come to a place of mercy, compassion. Scorpio moon, it would rather be exalted in Taurus, but it's at its hurt. It's not in a good place when it's in the opposite sign of Scorpio, because the moon is already our emotional body, and then Scorpio is deep, still, cold, dark waters. It's the opposite energy of life with Taurus. It's death. Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. But it's when the tail of the dragon is there, it's easier to give death to karmic, perhaps attachments that we've got karma for, that we can cut now, that we get rid of, because they're not helping us to step up to the next timeline that we're being called to. Uranus elevate us up out of a stuck, dark, black cube stuck in the material realm. And through our willpower, we come up with our imagination, our magic making, to make a better, more exciting, more authentic, in tuned with our soul's desires and fulfillments. We are worthy to be abundant, Taurus. And we channel the energy of Taurus to get the job done, which they always do with Taurus. So we got a chance to get the job done with this Leo sun, to encourage us to be courageous, to give us a spark of spirit, a fire to our heart. The shoulders of the ox to put it to the freaking wheel. To just do it. Just do it is a Leo Taurus type thing. This Leo sun is putting a light on us. That's show and tell time. It's meditating on, let us bring in the sun onto the crown of our heads. Beautiful gold. This white light is coming in, and is making this perhaps tarnished, broken crown fully freaking charged with this beautiful, dazzling light. And from the crown of our heads emanate 1,000 rays, bringing light to this world. Let us bring that crown down through to our first eye, third eye, the middle of our eyebrows. And bring the beautiful silver moon together with the sun as this light travels to our throat, clearing out any blockages, opening up our ears to hear the wisdom of this world. We go down into the beautiful emerald green city of our hearts, where Venus and the sun dance together in a beautiful heavenly marriage reception. Oh, we bring this light and this crown to our heart, and our heart is crowned and is made light, filled with light, balanced with the feather, as we balance the scales of Mott in beautiful harmony through the love of Venus. And we have conquered death, my friends. Whew. We are truly enlightened. I started doing more than ones like this. This is fun. Oh, I have a green shirt on. Yeah, we just did a crown to the heart marrying ritual ceremony. We're making everything ritual and ceremony. Makes this world, with the use of our will, our imagination, our magic, that's bringing heaven to earth, beautifying this earth, celebrating that which is beautiful, highlighting that which is good, encouraging people to love. But with the Aquarian, we don't even have any rule like love one another. Just don't hurt anybody. You don't even have to be charitable or overly nice. I mean, once you start really thinking about stuff, there's a time to be nice and a time to be mean, who knows. But the lesson of Buddha is to don't get too emotionally, unhealthily attached to anything, because that hinders us from being enlightened. But that doesn't mean renunciating everything. It's a middle path. There's some Zen Buddhist things. It's like, you have to get, desires are the cause of all suffering, is a Buddhistic teaching. So the disciple says, okay, well, I want to reach enlightenment, so let me renunciate my desires. Well, you can never, that's still acting out a desire to get rid of your desires. So what do? So we're gonna have desires. How do we fulfill our desires? We see it's not so much by just what we have materially, that helps, but about our perspective on it. I've heard it said that the rich man is not rich because he holds many possessions, but those are rich who need but little possessions. It's, if you get something really easily, you often don't really value it. If something took a lot of time and work, then you do value that. Right now, with Aquarius, the 11th house of the zodiac, is you getting your rewards. Saturn, Father Time, for stuff that you had to put time into and climb up to and work through. Capricorn, ascending up that mountain. And you have the devil, the adversary, the opposition, Saturn in Capricorn, that you have to meet on the hill, out in the desert. Get tempted 3 times, 3 seasons of fall or the winter. And then Saturn, as the adversary in Capricorn, goes into the next sign, Aquarius, where Saturn turns into Soter, which is the savior. Surprise twist ending. With the story, the star says, it's like Jupiter, Zeus, gives you everything. And then together in the heavens, Saturn and him make a bet. And Saturn says, I'm going to take everything away. And to trust his faith. Jupiter, it's all about faith in you and the goodness. And Job gets through the test of Saturn and then is rewarded. So let us think about life like that. Do you know how hard it was for us to get to this point? Scientifically, time-wisely? I mean, who knows in the eyes of God, but a spark, a flash in the pan. But what worldview, what perspective on this will fulfill our desires? That's our challenge here, to animate this world with meaning and spirit. And so what's the best meaning we could get out of this world? That we're here to try to, we see that it's obviously fucked up. And so what's the best movie that we could make out of it? That, okay, we find ourselves in this fucked up place, but we wouldn't just sit back and accept that and be selfish. We're courageous and we use our talent, our life force, our energy to try to be a light. And we don't have to be out there, I mean, we're encouraged to, hopefully, to really take a place of leadership and in this world, and to be active in it, and not to renunciate. And what use does that do? Seems like it took a lot of trouble for us to get into this body. Perhaps a good way of thinking about this is that we chose to do this. When we look at an astrological chart, astrologers pretty much come to the consensus is that we chose our chart. There also seems to be like we learn lessons here, which makes us think that we're here for the evolution as we see the world evolving, hopefully. That we're evolving consciously, spiritually, soulfully. It seems to be a healthy context sometimes, but there's also some unhealthy contexts that spirituality can put us into. I.e., this world is all fallen and evil as shit, and you just should check out. You know one thing? No one knows what the fuck happens after we die. The Aquarian does not tell you this. But it does reflect on life and death, rebirth. We see this in nature. We see it in our own lives, character development, individuation processes, the unfoldment of self-realization, individuation. We see that there are deaths and rebirths. That's a whole destruction of the temple and rebuilding of it ritual. Break down the two and bring them up into one. World Trade Tower Center. Those pieces of shit that did fucking 9/11. These dark occultists that have a lot of power in our fucking world. Let us work on the things that we can change, which is mostly just ourselves, but let us not just be so self-centered and self-sabotaging thoughts we need to get rid of. That's a Scorpio gone wrong south node thing that we could crap out the tail of the dragon. And let us really look to what our desires are. And what might that desire fulfillment feel like? Let me imagine it, and now let me jump into that feeling and feel it. And now bring that feeling into everything I do and charge the world around me so that I might have a rebirth of my way of dealing with this world that is more in line and balanced and harmonious and beautiful, and an expression of love, a giving back to this beautiful earth for what she gives to us, a thankfulness for the light that warms the day, that brings us out of the cold darkness of winter. Let our torches be reignited. Let our oil be purified. Let our hearts as well be purified, whole, wholesome, seated on the frickin' throne of the Queen of Wisdom, Our Lady the Moon at night, who guides us through the darkness, who nurtures us, who gives us waters that from heaven give us eternal fucking life. Why? Because we say so. That's how we exercise our will. Eternal life, freaking joyful harmony and splendor. Let it be done on earth as it is in heaven. Have a great day, y'all. Let's go.